People of the Purple Butterfly here, otherwise known as People7 on Twitter, YouTube, People elsewhere on the internet. My blog is located at purplebutterfly-people.blogspot.com. And my soaps, Purple Butterfly soaps, can be located at people.etsy.com. Couldn't stand it anymore, so I just went ahead and washed my hair, gave it a good shake, and now it's back to super curly. But because I use a moisturizing treatment, it's not back to curly. Sometimes you want your stuff to just lay down, relax, and still be curly. Besides, my scalp is still sore, so I don't want to do anything like, too many braids or whatever. In the meantime, remember this. This is how it's going to cure, because this is the mold it came out of, and the liner, look how thick that is. And because it's silicone, that will not breathe, and it has to cure for another 4 weeks. This is wood and breathable, and it's the mold that liner came out of. So that gives me just a little bit of room. So I took each bar and wrapped it up with some a coffee filter. So that gives it enough room to allow airflow, and it absorbs and all that. So that will assist in the curing um, process, and keep them in the exact order, because this is a gift and it has to go in the exact format. In the meantime, the other soaps, yeah, we're going to show you each of those now. And they are definitely dry. Yeah, there's my butterfly. Isn't it pretty? You can see the glitter that was in that soap. That's actually the mica. There's no actual glitter. So that will wash completely away and not stick to your skin. Um, it's got dots on it from the paper towel it was on. But is that cool or what? So some of the bronze did show up. And then the anajo. Yeah, it's hard as a brick now. It still has 2 weeks to go for a final melding. But this is my personal bar, and it is a hot process, which means I could use it right now. And I'm not going to show you 9 pieces of anajo, because all of them look exactly like this. Now, as for the helix swirl, I'm going to show you how I got these at the moment. And well, first I'm going to figure out how I'm going to pick this up without, say, accidentally pressing the button. Because right now, the only thing that's keeping it balanced is this easel. I bought those years and years and years ago when I used to make ceramic plates with people's pictures on there. That's how I would present them, so that way they could stand up. But anyway, I got them like this on my press and seal mat, a whole hand space apart. So that way it allows for airflow. In the meantime, let's show you what each individual piece looks like. Yeah. This, of course, is the back. Not much to write home about, right? And that's the front. Most of these have been sprayed with alcohol on the initial surface. I still got to go in between. But this is another attribute of using alcohol or water to spray them. they become shiny. And with a soap that's a glittery looking mica, shiny is good because it's an elemental type format. That is so pretty. It still didn't quite come out the way I wanted it to, but it's close enough. Because I will be doing this again. I'm thinking, if nothing else, it's time for an unscented bar soap. That way I can just work, get the design, and not worry about the color accelerating and speeding up and causing things to not look the way they're supposed to look. But I'll take that. Look at there. It smells amazing. Like way too much lavender in a small spot. This is what we call a Julia Roberts soap. That's an inside joke, and it just occurred to me you're not going to get what that means, so I'll just explain it. Julia Roberts has a very, very small, cute face. But when she smiles, it looks like she's got way too many teeth for such a small face. And it actually makes her smile pop, you know. So people call that look way too many teeth or the Julia Roberts face. There's another actor that's associated with having what looks like too many teeth in one mouth, but that's the one that I know people would relate to. So basically, when you have a scent that is supposed to be subtle, but it smells like you have way too much lavender or way too much, cherry or whatever, you either call it an overload or you call it a Julia Roberts face. That's close to what it's supposed to look like. Look, see the melding of the colors anyway. But it's slightly muddy. And then the white base only showed up right there. All the other colors, you can't tell, well, in the other corner. But you can't tell if it ever had a white base like that. Hold on. Make sure I got that facing the right way. Yeah. And then we have this one. And my teeth are loosening up. So they pop out. Feel free to laugh, because you know me. I will find that funny. This one will have to be trimmed. It's got that little edge right there. Looks like a raggedy house. But that was the overflow from the mold. And it's still soft, so I could press that back in the shape. Which is good because this needs a corner, not a rounded edge. But here we go. What do you think? Actually, that will get trimmed off as a sample because it's not supposed to be there anyway. And that will release the design that's hidden in that little corner piece. It's like the butterfly, it got a trimming and now it looks like this. But the part that got trimmed off, it was looking kind of rough. There was ash on it. You see. But that's to be expected because it is a predominantly cocoa butter base because I was making the anajo. So basically I just made a double size and then one became the black soap anajo and the other became the helix DNA swirl, the double helix, otherwise known as the DNA swirl. And cocoa butter, chocolate, shea, mango, any butter, especially if it's made from cocoa, cacao, chocolate, tends to have um, a heathery effect because of the chocolate. The chocolate does something called bloom. Um, Good example of that. Get yourself a Hershey's bar or, you know, any chocolate bar for that matter, including Dove. Oh, those are so good. The dark chocolate, Linder, Fanny Price, Whitman's, all of those. Take a picture of it. Take a look at it. Get it in here. Then stick it in the refrigerator, or better yet, the freezer for 24 hours. Then take it out and take that mental picture again. You will see the difference. One will look like, hey, what's going on with my soap? It has this gray type effect. And that cloudy gray effect is called bloom. There's nothing wrong with it. It will still be usable. In fact, some chocolates actually taste better after you freeze it, which is why people stick their Snickers bar and their Three Musketeer bar in the freezer, especially on a hot day when it's like 90 degrees outside. Stick that frozen chocolate in your mouth and it's like, party in your face. But the reason it does that is the temperature changes and it blooms. And it would actually go back to normal and all that, when the temperature changes. You temper cocoa butter soaps and stir it up and heat it up to get that effect to go away. But the moment stuff cools down, and in the case of soap, it goes through a gel phase, which means it heats up a lot. And then by the time it settles down to become a saponified safe bar soap, you might have a little bloom. It looks like much ash until you spray it and then the ash doesn't go away. Ash can be easily dismissed with a little spray of alcohol. When it doesn't go away, a bar of soap that looks like this, is supposed to look like this, will look like this. And this is after spray. You see the difference? It just looks kind of cloudy. That's got a bad, it's a better example. See that blue? That's the same blue. It's rather obvious when you look at it like that with the comparison. But anyway, that's a natural phenomenon called bloom because the cocoa butter bloomed, the chocolate bloomed. There's also a phenomenon that takes place with stearic acid and other things, but we won't go into that right now because I'm talking about this. And then I've been to, because the smell of this lavender is just transporting me. So I'm going to go in there and take a bubble bath. Yep, yep, yep. And, well, first I'm going to put the tray of soap down over there on my alternate curing rack because there's no more room upstairs. In fact, I'm going to do that now because the klutz that I am, I've been to knock this over. Oh, wait. That won't work for me. There we go. And then the OCD in me, I can't leave that unbalanced. So the one came from there, and that's where it's going, and the other one needs to rest there. So putting away one and not putting away the other. I used to drive the kids bats when they used to lose their patience on, being in a closed-in moving box for 18 minutes. A lot of the kids I had to write up were only on the bus for 18 minutes. The ones that was there for an hour knew to get in their spot, sit down, do their homework, or listen to their music or whatever, because they're going to be on the bus an hour and they might as well do so without all that grief. But the ones that live closer to school, which means if you get them off the bus, they can actually walk to school. They were the ones that would get, I would tell myself 18 minutes, 18 minutes, 15 minutes, 15 minutes, 4 minutes, they'll be on my bus, 4 minutes. Because if I keep that patience level, I didn't have to write them up. Because there's a few of them, they would get rolled up so much that they would either be continuously rolled up or continuously off the bus, or continuously rolled up or continuously off the bus. You can't get an education that way. Because you're never there because you're getting rolled up. Anyway, I had a system where I had the kids arranged a certain way, and when someone didn't show up for, um, show up to school, you had kid here, kid here, kid here, kid here, empty space, kid here. That would drive me back. So it's like, okay, can somebody fill in this gap? Or if one of the kids were being obnoxious, I would go ahead and put them in an empty seat, so that way I still had my symmetry. Or I would, you know, dedicate, like, when they had their, extracurricular activities and they had to carry a bunch of stuff, I would donate that empty spot to the book bags or the, you know, violin cases and all that. And the power packs, when I wrote their name on them, because if I didn't write their name on them, it was like, you grab this, you hold on to it, and you better not let it go. If I see anything flying out the window, I'm automatically writing you up twice. People on my route, they would either leave the power packs on the bus, say you can have it, Miss K, or they would take them with them. But nobody was throwing stuff out of windows and all that, because I told that one kid, I said, I seen you look like you were gonna throw it out the window. If you do, and it connects to a car, that means your parents are liable, and I will stop the bus and call the police and let them take the police report. You can't do that, Miss K. I said, you want to bet? Because if I don't report it, they gonna report me. And you know what? I love you guys, but I love me more. So I never had a problem with the kids about the power packs, because some of those things were canned goods. Some of it was milk. They got milk that goes in a little paper container, like a juice box, and it doesn't spoil, and you don't have to refrigerate it. So my brain says, what did they do to that milk? Because milk tends to spoil. They irradiated or something. Is it not safe anymore? I'm scared of that stuff. My milk, even the almond milk, is in the refrigerator for a reason. So when you change the nature of stuff, my brain's going, how did they change that? So, it's like, I love a good salad. But if you tell me, oh, you get all the nutrients from your salad from this little pill, and they are actually products that you could get your vitamins and pill for, I don't trust that, because I know salads are fresh. Anyway, I've rambled on enough. This has been, I still crack me up. This has been P+7 on Twitter, YouTube. Oh. Okay, I got rough gene syndrome. I'm going to fix that. I washed my favorite jeans. They actually fit. Hold on, let's see this. Let's see if I can show you. Ta-da! Look. No Dunlap syndrome. But I washed them in the machine, and the dryer is having issues. And people that have muscles that could install my dryer that I actually have from when I moved that still works, and change it out with the one that doesn't work, people with muscles are not available. And then come to find out, the old dryer is a gas dryer, which means if you do not know how to take that loose, leave it the heck alone, because, we don't want to blow up the house. So I got the bright idea, just put my dryer next to it, and then we'll plug it in, because my dryer's electric. Oh yeah, we'll do that. We'll be by tomorrow to do that. Right, you ain't seen them in months. And it's not even my son that was going to help. It, my son can do a whole lot of stuff and he's got muscles and everything, but that's a 2 or 3 man job because, one side weighs like 300 pounds and the other side's going to weigh 300 pounds or whatever that dynamic is, and it's bulky. So some of his undependable people didn't show up, so that left him in a lurch and that left us stuck. In the meantime, you can't get the cord to go into the plug where you can't move it because it's in the middle of a different room. So in the meantime, I hung these up on the rack and I forgot to spray the stuff on there that, softens it. So when I went to put them on, crunchy. So it's like, it'll go away after I move around for a while or spray some fabric release on it and move around for a while. But in the meantime, you go to move and you get that crunchies. You feel like Frankenstein's monster. You gotta move like that. I'm gonna behave now. Or not. This has been people saying on Twitter and YouTube. I say that cracked me up. There's been people saying on Twitter and YouTube, people elsewhere on the internet. My blog is located at purplebutterfly-people.blogspot.com, and my soaps, Purple Butterfly Soaps, can be located at people.etsy.com. Y'all stay blessed and stay tuned. Bye.